Hi everyone, Mr. O'Brien here, and today what we're going to be doing in honor of Earth Day is we're going to be making some Earth Day slime. Alright, I'm going to show you what that looks like just a second. Hold on. This is our Earth Day slime, and I'm going to show you step by step how to create this slime and have fun with it. Alright, come on back. Alright, so Earth Day slime. You might wonder, how exactly do we make this magical slime? So, here's exactly what you're going to need to make your slime. You are going to need a bottle of glue. Clear glue or white glue, either one works just fine, doesn't matter. You are also going to need some popsicle sticks or spoons, something to mix with, alright? You are going to need some way to color your slime. So I am using watercolor paint, but you can also use food coloring. Just keep note, if you do use food coloring, you may want to use a pair of gloves as well, because the food coloring can dye your hands. Because at some point you are going to be using your hands to get in there and mix and mush the slime together. Alright? So, you're also going to need a half teaspoon measurer. If you don't have a half teaspoon, you can use a teaspoon and measure about half of that. You are going to need a measuring cup. You are going to need 2 bowls, one for each color of slime. And you are going to need some borax. And also you're going to need some water. Alright, so now that we have all of our materials that we need, I'm going to go through and show you each step nice and slow so you can make your slime along with me. See you soon. Alright, so the first step in making our Earth Day slime is to make our glue mixture. So I'm going to take my clear bottle of glue here, and I'm going to pour the entire thing into both bowls. So I have to split it in half. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the cap off, and I'm going to kind of do this by eye. I'm going to pour it in like such. And I'm going to see if I've got about half of the bottle gone. Not quite, so I'm going to add a little bit more. Here, just like that. Let me check again. Alright, that looks like about half the bottle. So then I'm going to take my other bowl and pour the other half of the glue into that bowl. Right, just like that. And give it a little squeeze to get that glue out of there a little quicker. Kind of shake it up and down, tap it. Make sure you get all of the glue out. Alright. So, now that I've got my glue out, I'm going to put that bottle off to the side. It's mostly done. If you want to try to get the last little bits of it, you can turn it upside down and put it up against something to try to get the last little bits of that glue. But I don't need that for this, so I've got my glue now, and what I'm going to do is I have pre-filled my measuring cup with about 1/4 cup of water here. You can see that, and I'm going to add that into my glue solution. This is to help break down the glue and make it easier for the borax solution to mix together and make that slime. So I'm going to pour that water in to my glue, and I have another measuring cup ready to go with 1/4 cup of water. Again, I'm going to pour that in. Okay, now that I have my water mixed and my glue together, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix it up a little bit with that craft stick, just so that the water starts to break down some of those molecules in the glue. watercolor and put it in to make my color. So I've got blue for the water and I've got green for the land. So in one bowl, I'm going to take squeeze a drop or two of blue directly into the clear. And in the other bowl, I'm going to squeeze a drop of blue, or two, maybe a third drop, and another drop in here if I can get it to come out. This one's almost done. There we go. And then in the bowl that is going to be the land, I'm going to add yellow to the blue in order to make it a green color. All right, and then I'm going to mix those up, and once those are done, I'll come back here for the next step. All right, I'm going to mix those up. I'll see you in a minute. All right, so now I've got my glue mixtures mixed together. I've got my blue in this bowl here, and I've got my green in this bowl here. All right, so the next step, once you have those two mixtures together, you can put them aside, and you're going to create your borax mixture. So what you're going to need for that is you're going to need your measuring cup, all right? And you're going to fill that measuring cup with 1 cup of hot, warm water. So you can go over to your sink and turn up your faucet all the way to hot and fill that with 1 cup of water. Now this is the part where I would suggest that you have a parent help you out, because the water might be pretty hot at home, so you don't want to burn your hands or anything. So I would get a parent to help you fill up your measuring cup with 1 cup of hot, warm water, and then I'm going to show you how to add the borax solution. Hold on. All right, so I have my 1 cup of hot, warm water here, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my borax and my 1/2 teaspoon, and I'm going to stick my 1/2 teaspoon into the borax and level it off so it's level, and then I'm going to pour that into the water. Now once I pour it into the water, you want to make sure that you stir it very well with a spoon or a craft stick or a straw, something to stir it so that you dissolve that borax completely. You want that
completely dissolved. I'm going to stir this up until it's completely dissolved, alright? And I would suggest doing 1 color of your glue mixture at a time for this step, because you're going to need to make two things of the borax solution, alright? So, here we go. Alright.
Alright, so now I've got my glue mixture and I've got my borax and water mixture. Now, the next step is you want to pour the borax water mixture in slowly, okay? And you're going to see that there's going to start being some action happening here where the borax and the glue mixture are mixing together and forming bonds to make the slime. So I'm going to pour it slowly, just so I see it's starting to form. And then I'll put it off to the side. Then I'm going to mix it, kind of see how things are going. As you can see here, it's starting to kind of form together. Okay? What you want is you want all of the slime glue mixture to absorb into the borax part. Okay? So you're going to stir with your spoon or your craft stick, all right? And then, if you're not quite sure, you can always add a little bit more of that borax solution. Not a lot, you want to add a little at a time, because you don't want to overwater, because you don't want it to end up too watery. All right, and I'll go over at the end some troubleshooting tips. If your slime ends up either too watery or too sticky or clumpy, I'll go over that as well. All right, so I'm at the point now where I'm gonna have to stick my hands into this and get mixing. All right, so I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna show you how that works, and then we'll get on to the green color. Hold on. All right, so now's the point that we need to get our hands in there and get squishy and have fun. All right, so your slime's mostly formed at this point, but what you wanna do is you wanna get that formed even more. So you wanna take your hands and put it in the slime, and you want to knead it. So you can take your hands in the bowl and knead that slime together, just like I'm doing here. And sometimes it can take quite a while for the slime to get the exact consistency that you're looking for, because the bonds need to come together. All right. You can even kind of squeeze it in between your hands a little bit and hold it back and forth. All right. It's looking mostly like we want it to. Almost the consistency I'm looking for here. Whoop, I got a piece of slime stuck on my finger. That'll happen. So again, you want to keep going till your slime is nice and formed. All right. Now, you might be wondering, well, my slime doesn't exactly look like that, or my slime's falling apart easily, or my slime's sticky. What can you do? Well, if you have really sticky slime, what you can do is you can add a little bit more of the borax water solution. Okay? You don't want to add too much because you don't want it to get too watery. Now, what can you do if your slime is too watery? You can actually add some more glue directly into your slime mixture. But again, you want to do it nice and slow so that it doesn't get too much in any one area. Too much glue or too much borax solution. All right. So this blue is looking good. So we're going to move on to our green now. I'm going to put the blue back in the bowl and kind of let it do its thing. And you know that you've got some pretty good slime if you put it in the bowl and it kind of like bounces a little, and you can kind of push it and it doesn't flow too much. But if you hold it up in the air and you get your hand under it, then it should stretch pretty nicely, just like this slime is doing. Alright, so that's some pretty good slime we've got going on there. Alright, so let's move on to the green slime. Alright, so our blue slime is made. Now we're going to make our green slime. Alright, and I actually have some leftover borax and water solution here, so I'm going to use that for my green slime. If you have leftover solution, you can use it as well. If not, you're going to have to make some more. Alright, so again, I'm going to take my solution and I'm going to pour it in slowly just until I see the bond start, where it looks like a bit of slime is forming in the bowl. And then I'm going to take my mixer and start mixing that so that I can see how that looks. Now again, you want to make sure that the slime absorbs all of the water mixture. And if you need to add some more water mixture, go ahead. So I'm just going to add a little bit more here. All right. I'm going to mix that up. Maybe I'll add a tiny bit more because I think it needs a little bit more. All right. And then we're going to get to the best part, which is squishing the slime together. All right. So I'm going to come back just a moment and squish that slime nice and together. Alright, so like I said, now that you've got everything mixed up, now is the best part, which is squishing that slime in between your hands till that it comes out to the right consistency that you want. So go ahead and squish that slime together. Kind of pull it apart to see if it's the right consistency that you're looking for. Woo, that's stretchy. That looks pretty good. But I'm gonna maybe kind of squish it a few more times here just to make sure I've got the right consistency. And again, you can take your slime ball and kind of drop it in your bowl, and if it bounces, you got a pretty good slime there. And sometimes with slime, it doesn't always work out the first time. You may have to try it out a couple times and see if the recipe works. And sometimes it works the first time and it doesn't work the second time. Like actually, this green slime right here is not my first green slime. It's actually the second green slime. The green slime I was making before this did not turn out very well. So I had to kind of scrap it and start over. And sometimes with slime, like I said, that'll happen. But there are fixes, which I told you about before. Alright, so looks like this green slime is ready to go. Alright. I am gonna get ready for the last step and show you how to make the earth. Alright, be right back. Alright, so now to actually make your earth, what you're gonna do is you can use a paper plate for this, or you can do it right in your bowl. I'm gonna use a paper plate. So you're gonna kind of scrape the blue slime out, maybe mold it in your hands couple times, kind of warm it up because it's probably cool because it's been sitting out. So you want to warm it up so it actually will move its shape around. So I'm going to warm it up and then I'm going to put it on my plate and I'm going to give it a second and kind of let it spread out. Maybe I'll push it out a little here, thin it out some. All right. So I've got my water. And now for my land. So I'm gonna take my green slime and again, I'm gonna warm it up some with my hands here. And I'm gonna take bits of it apart and make it into land masses. All right, so I might take a little chunk here and kind of flatten it out however I want it. Doesn't have to be exactly like the actual continents. That's kind of hard to make with slime, but do your best to get a rough shape and kind of then push it onto the blue slime like that. Then I'm gonna do it again, maybe a smaller piece of slime this time, and I'll make a different shape. Put it up to the top here, kind of push it in. So we've got a little bit of an earth look happening here. And then I need a little bit of a bigger one. For another piece here, flatten it out. Push it down. Alright, and then maybe I'll do a few small ones on the side here, just so we've got an equal amount of water and land. Maybe another baby one over here. Alright, maybe kind of one little baby island in the middle here. Push it down. And you can add just as much or as little land as you want. And when you feel like you've got enough, you have your Earth Day slime. I hope that you make some really cool Earth Day slime and that you really enjoy it. And I'd love to see your pictures and your comments. All right, enjoy your slime. Bye-bye now.